In a rematch of last season's NFC Championship game, the Falcons opened their new stadium last night and beat the Packers 34-23. Matt Ryan threw for over 250 yards, with his favorite target, Julio Jones, having another big game against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers threw for over 340 yards but had two costly turnovers. Desmond Trufant intercepted Rodgers in the final minute of the first half, leading to a Falcons touchdown, then later recovered a Rodgers fumble for a touchdown. Shannon, what did last night tell you?
It told me a lot of things. And Skip, you and I talked about the opening week. Was the Packers' defense this good, or was it a product of Seattle's offense being really bad? And I think we got our answer, because we've seen Seattle's offense the first 2 weeks of the season, and they've looked atrocious, and that's being nice.
12-9 over San Francisco.
Exactly. And what did they score last week? 9 points against the Pack. Mm-hmm. So we have a good idea. And Mike Daniels was Reggie White 1 week, and then he plays like 4 snaps. He's growing a hamstring, and he didn't play anymore the rest of the game. Skip, Aaron Rodgers did not have a very good game by his standards. I mean, you look at the final stat line, he threw for over 350 yards, but that's not Aaron Rodgers. 50 attempts, 33, 343, 3 sacks, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and then that fumble recovery. Skip, it's hard to play quarterback in Aaron Rodgers' position, because his team gets the ball first. The opposing team gets the ball first, and normally when he goes on the field, they're down 3-0 or 7-0. That's very frustrating. And he knows he must be on his best game every single week in order for them to have a chance to win. The likelihood of his defense carrying him to a victory is not very good. It reminds you a lot of Peyton Manning. Skip, you remember a lot in Peyton's career. If he didn't throw for 350 and 3 or 4 touchdowns, they weren't winning. They weren't winning a whole lot of games 17-13, 20-23. Yep. He needed to be great. Aaron Rodgers must be great. They need to do a bit. I don't know why they didn't sign Adrian Peterson, because I like Ty Montgomery, and I think he's a great change of pace. But if you're asking him to be your every down running back, I think you're asking a bit much. You need somebody that's used to carrying the football 20, 25 times a game. Can Aaron Rodgers throw the ball 50 times a game and you can have success? Sure you could. But I don't think you want to make a living doing that. And Randall Cobb had 10 rushes, 35. They only had 15 carries for 59 yards, right about 4 yards a carry. But when you're behind, because Aaron Rodgers comes on the field, it's automatically 7-0. And so he knows now, I got to get into a battle. And a quarterback of his ilk, they want to throw it every time. But you can't put them in harm's way, because realize they're starting without their two tackles. Their left tackle and right tackle, they were out. So you're asking some journeymen to come in that new building they just opened, Skip, and they built this team. They put this team together for a fast defense. Fly up the field. Yep. And opening night, that place was going to be rocking. They put the Packers in a situation where we know you got to throw it. You can't run. We don't respect Montgomery. We don't respect Ty Cobb if you want to give him a couple of handoffs. We know you're going to throw it, and we're going to come try and get you. Skip, a lot of this falls on his plate because he's a franchise quarterback. In the true sense, now there are a lot of quarterbacks that are quarterbacks of a franchise, but Aaron Rodgers and your Brady's and your Roethlisbergers, those are franchise quarterbacks that sometimes when you don't have a running game and you say, well, we're going to need you to throw it 50, 55 times today, they can do it and you win the ball game. But Skip, they're going to be up against it, because if you don't play defense any better than that, and you can't run the football, and you're just going to ask Rodgers to drop back and throw it 50-plus times, you're going to get hit a bunch, and you're going to lose a bunch.
So, Joy, help me out here. I screamed so much at my TV yesterday during the Dallas game that I actually hurt my own eardrums, so I wasn't sure I heard the words come out of his mouth. Did you hear him be mildly critical of Aaron Rodgers?
I think that is what happened.
No, Skip. I've been very critical of him. He needs to play better. He turned the football over. But, Skip, I'm telling you, it's hard. I've been on both sides of the equation. In Denver in the mid-'90s, when we were winning a lot, Skip, we were an offensive dominant football team. And we knew when we come on the field and it's already 3-0, 7-0. So we knew we had our work cut out for us. But I also was on a team that were defensively led with the Ravens. And I just knew if we didn't turn it over, We just make one play, the likelihood of someone driving the ball 80, 90 yards. So I've been on both sides of the equation, and it makes it difficult to play. And Aaron Rodgers is up against it because he sees that defense. He knows, he practices against it a lot.
So I'm glad you brought up the fact Aaron Rodgers was without either tackle.
Yep.
So you don't have Balaga, you don't have Bakhtiari, and you lose Jordy fairly early in the game. And he's out. But you do have a really deep receiver core. So you still have Devontae Adams, you have Randall Cobb, you have Martellus, you have Geronimo Allison, and Ty Montgomery's actually a receiver playing running back.
Correct.
So he's another capable two hands to have in that offense. So given what you lost and given what you still had, your defense played a little better, as I thought it would. I think the defense is a little improved, even though they made no big significant additions. They just got a little healthier, especially in the secondary. And I thought they hung in because the total yards for the game are 364 for Atlanta and 367 for Green Bay. So you can say that the total yards are, it's kind of 50-50. But the final score of the game was actually 2-0 because Aaron Rodgers made two horrendous mistakes that if Blake Bortles had made these mistakes, you'd say, there he goes again. But Aaron Rodgers makes a mistake, and everybody just shrugs and says, it's just Aaron Rodgers. It's see no evil. Because late in the first half, it's 54 seconds left. You are so backed up. You are in jail. You're 2nd and 12 from your 3-yard line. And all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers just wings it. And again, it's still a game at that point. It's 17-7. So you got a chance to go to half 17-7. That'll work. You're still in the ball game. And he just wings it up the sideline, complete overthrow, throwing it for Geronimo. And he throws it completely over his head, and Trufant picks it off. And guess what happens very quickly? Boom, boom, boom happens. And all of a sudden, you go to the locker room 24-7. Unacceptable, can't do it, you know it, and I know it.
Yes.
Then you come right out in the second half, and on your second offensive play, I don't know what he's doing. It's another Blake Bortles special because he turns right into the rush of Vic Beasley and then tries to throw it sideways. And the ball, it was a very, very close call, but it went right down the line, and they reviewed it, and it was ruled a backward pass or a fumble. And Trufant again is Johnny on the spot, and he picks it up and takes it in. And all of a sudden, because of your two giant mistakes, Blake Bortles-style mistakes, it goes to 31-7, 14 points that you just handed them. And to Aaron's credit after the game, he did the math. He said, I gave them 14. We lost by 11. Okay? So he deserves a lot of criticism for this. He's the best thrower of the football ever, according to you, and a lot of other people.
Skip, the thing is that it's so infrequently. Here's a guy that has a 4 touchdown to 1 interception ratio, which means we do not see him turn the ball over often, let alone multiple times in one game. But since the start of last year, the Falcons and the Packers have played each other 3 times. They average giving up 37 points a game. Well, if your defense gives up 37 points a game, the likelihood of you winning a lot of those games are not very good.
Okay, but last night wasn't just on the defense because he gave them 14 of those points. Okay, so don't pin that on the defense. They could have been in this game. I'm not sure they could have won it.
Okay, that wasn't the scoop and score, but you can stop them if you like. I mean, just because the guy turns the ball over in negative territory, that doesn't mean that the defense said, well, he turned it over, we can let him score, and everything's okay. You can stop him because there were times that playing with the Ravens, we turned it over, they didn't score. Where we turned the ball over at and where they ended up trying to kick a field goal from was 2 entirely different places. So at any point in time, Green Bay, if you want to play defense and try to bail your quarterback out as many times as he's bailed you out, feel free to do that.
Okay, but we know, I know, Atlanta's not invincible this year. They're still reeling a little bit. There's still some Super Bowl hangover. They should have lost at Chicago in week 1.
They might be
the Bears dropped 2 balls at the goal line late in the game. They lose the game.
They should be maybe defensively. Skip, they got an offense out of this world. Julio Jones is on another level. I mean, there's some great receivers, Antonio Brown, and you got Odell Beckham Jr. You got some really good receivers.
I agree.
Skip. But this number 11 down in Atlanta, he's an alien. I mean, it's not even fair.
But you can't say that Matt Ryan threw a party last night in the opening game of that dome.
No.
19 of 28 for 252. It's pretty good. I don't know if it's MVP numbers, right?
Skip, that's 9 incomplete passes.
Okay.
That's 9 times the ball touched the dirt.
But they didn't get shredded.
No, but I'm saying, though, Skip, they didn't need to.
No, it's about their running game.
I mean, when you get 27 for 141, so why am I just going to stand behind the line and just throw it all over the yard? There's no need to. They can't stop us running the ball.
Yep. Okay, but the total yards aren't that shocking to me. It's not like what happened in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but see, sometimes, Skip, you have to look. You can't just look at total yards. You look at how the game played out. Devontae Freeman, 19 for 84. That's 4-4. Coleman, 6 for 42. That's 7. Matt Ryan scrambled 1 for 8. So you look at the getting chunk plays. So now, guess what? If they're picking up yard time of possession, guess where Aaron Rodgers is? And remember, I told you, offensive players are really, really, really rhythm players.
Yep.
They need, back up. If the defense gives them the ball right back after you score a touchdown, now they start to feel it. But if I score and then I got to wait 8, 9, because think about it, Atlanta's first drive, they took like 7, 8 minutes off the clock and got a touchdown.
But then Aaron Rodgers went right down the field and tied it 7-7.
Yep, and then guess what?
You're Aaron Rodgers.
And the Falcons come right back down the field and say, what? I know what you got over there, Aaron. You great, but you ain't got nothing great over there. So we about to give it to y'all again. Got his work cut out for him again.
I'm sure he's not caring about this right now, but he did become the fastest quarterback to reach 300 career touchdowns yesterday with that pass to Ty Montgomery. He also tied John Elway for the 10th most passing touchdowns.
You going to take that shovel pass as number 300?
Yeah.
I'm going to disqualify.
Well, I caught a 2-yard touchdown for John's 300,
really?
against Seattle.
Okay.
Oh, really?
And I kissed Thunder, too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You kissed the horse?
Yep.
Okay.
They have the Bengals next week in Lambeau. Does Tom Brady look like an MVP candidate again? We'll discuss that next.